Understanding personality and color types reveals why some technically correct colors can feel completely wrong energetically. Today, I'm bringing you answers to a couple questions that I got in the YouTube comments. If you'd like to send in a question, you can leave a comment on a YouTube video, or if you're listening to the podcast, you can email me at hello@signaturestylesystems.com. I'm Rebecca Milkey. As a personality profiler and style strategist, I take you on a journey of self-discovery so you can create a signature style that really feels like you. As your first step to self-discovery, I invite you to download my guide to seasonal energy and personality colors. You can find the link in the show description or at my website, signaturestylesystems.com. So the first question is about introversion and extroversion and wearing bright colors. So most people, first I'm going to explain what introversion and extroversion actually means. So most people think introversion is about either being shy or not social, but that's not it. Understanding personality and color types starts with understanding what these terms actually mean. So introversion and extroversion, I think a lot of people, because introversion has been a popular topic for maybe the last 10 years or so, I think a lot of people understand that it's actually about energy management. Like introverts need to withdraw to recharge. Extroverts need to interact with the exterior world for their energy. And then for introverts, the inner world is actually more real for them than the outer world, where that does make sense for us as extroverts. It's like, obviously, the real world is the outer world. But what this means for introverts is that they have to reconcile every bit of information that comes into their experience that um, that contradicts what they already believe. And that is an energetically costly process. So whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, for all personality and color types, wearing colors that are more intense or brighter or higher contrast than what your inherent coloring is takes a lot of energy. I mean, you can, because nobody has fully saturated coloring like the most saturated colors, but many people can wear the most saturated colors. So there's a little bit of flexibility, but if you're very low contrast and you wear high contrast color combinations like black and white, it just takes a lot of energy. And so the question was around the energy that it takes to wear the brighter, more highly saturated colors. So different color theorists have tried to bridge personality and color types with varying degrees of success. Like Carol Tuttle's system, which is dressing your truth, it puts introverts into either type 2, which is equivalent of summer, which is kind of don't look at me energy. It's very subtle. Or they're type 4, which is winter, which is more don't mess with me energy. Both of these types are introverted, but express it completely differently. And then extroverts in her system either focus on ideas and possibilities, which are type 1 or springs, or action and results, which are type 3 and autumns. Then I've been mentally trying to work out a way to map Myers-Briggs into color seasons for over 10 years, um, without really succeeding in that. And my only hypothesis that I've come up with is that I think clear seasons might align with intuition and muted seasons with sensing, because it seems like people who are more have a preference for sensing, that they like those kind of grounded colors, softer colors. But the real solution is a custom palette. And Suzanne Cagill actually gave every kind of palette within each season. So the YouTube commenter situation was this. She's been given a generic winter palette that matches her physical coloring, but exhausts her energetically. She probably needs a more refined palette with like deep shaded colors, which is also winter, worn in, because she said she has dark hair and light skin, so probably worn in high color, high contrast combinations, but maybe not. And then here's a note about red. Red seems to be one of the most polarizing colors. And it was specifically mentioned in this comment that especially red is hard for her to wear. Red is very aggressive. So it's just, yeah, it's just not going to be for everyone. Also, pink is pretty polarizing. But I have a special field in my color intake just asking, how do you feel about red? And, sometimes people will say, it just has to be the right red. It has to be a soft red. It has to be a warm red, or it has to be a shaded red. Um, and that can be like a personality type thing. Like, would you ever drive a red car? I personally would never drive a red car, but I am not aggressive. Uh, and I would never wear animal print that was a predator animal. I would wear prey animal print, like giraffe or whatever. Anyway, okay, so here's another topic that came up in the comments in YouTube, and it's something that I had already been noticing. There's another personality and color types issue that emerges with aging, and that is like all of a sudden you realize neutrals used to work, but now they start to make you look washed out. So I had noticed, recently, I would see a person with white hair walking down the street, a white person with white hair walking down the street or the aisle at a grocery store or whatever, wearing black pants and a light neutral top. And that person is not only washed out by the neutrals, they're also overpowered by the high contrast between the light and the black. And she's cut herself in half proportionally because, it's 50-50. So if you wear a hip length, or like, a hip length top, and your head is the same color and your pants are a vastly different color, you've basically made yourself 50-50. So it just doesn't bring the picture to life. It's not a good look. So here's kind of how I see it. As we lose pigmentation in our skin and hair, we need more color to look vibrant, which is alive. It's super interesting. Like when you're young, really young, you dress in neutrals to look more sophisticated, so people will take you seriously. But the sophisticated neutral palette that works at 30 can make you look invisible at 60. And many women resist this shift because neutrals feel safe. But wearing color near your face is a good strategy for most people at any age. I experienced this personally. When I wore a lot of neutrals, People, I think I've told this story before. People would barely acknowledge me if I went into a store. I would never get talked to or waited on or anything, but then I switched to lighter and brighter spring colors, and then strangers talk to me in a friendly manner, genuinely, wherever I go. The colors invite connection in a way that feels authentic to my personality. You may have, experienced different results. You you are going to need a different kind of palette because they're each one is individual. So the solution isn't choosing between technical color analysis and personality. It's finding the intersection where they both work. So today's episode is designed to answer the question, what happens when you have extroverted colors, but an introverted personality? And how can you make personality and color types work together? The answer is understanding that both your physical coloring and your energetic presence matter equally in creating authentic style. And I'm here to help you. Here's something you can do this week to integrate these principles into your wardrobe. Forget your inherent coloring and what season you think you are for a minute. Take a look at the Guide to Seasonal Energy and Personality Colors. Find the color resonance that feels most aligned with your personality, and notice how you feel when you wear those colors. Thanks for being here for the Signature Style Systems podcast. Have fun being you, and I will meet you back here again real soon.